Josh Green here for Tungsten Tales. Delighted to be joined by Laura Turner after the weekend events in Hildesheim. Laura, how you doing?
Yeah, really good, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad at all. It's been a while since we spoke. We saw each other at the match play, of course, but you were back in action at the weekend. How did the weekend go for yourself?
Yeah, mixed results. First day, was quite relieved I made one of the semi-finals. Went out early, drew what seems to be my bogey player at the moment, Aileen de Graaf, in the second round. But yeah, relatively happy with how I played day one. Day two was a bit more of a struggle. But yeah, I've got points, I've got money in the bag, points on the board, as we would say. And it's a better start than I made when we were first racing for the match play. So I'll take that.
I think we saw last year over in Hildesheim, the numbers weren't fantastic, but you just look at the progression over the last year, 18 months on the PDC Women's Series. The numbers are growing, the standards are obviously growing, but it's just good to see those events supported outside the UK as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We said, I think, was it about 22? I mean, don't forget the last time at Hildesheim, it was kind of in the midst of the pandemic. People were a bit dubious about traveling, that kind of thing. But what was great to see, there was a lot of the women from Germany, from Netherlands, people that we hadn't seen playing before. Yeah. So, that was always a positive. And hopefully, they've got the bug for it and they'll take that forward and then come over to Wigan and Barnsley as well.
Lucky them coming over to Wigan and Barnsley.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, we're getting used to it now, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it certainly is. Want to reflect a little bit on the Women's World Match Play and what it was like up in Blackpool. Obviously, we saw some tremendous darts over that one afternoon session of darts up in Blackpool. What was it like being up on that stage? Obviously, you've played on the Lakeside stage before, but what was it like being on the Winter Garden stage?
Yeah, again, absolutely. It was nerve-wracking, but it was also very exciting to be part of something, to be one of the first ones up there to represent, the women in the match play as well. But yeah, it is quite overwhelming, I would say, for me personally. I kind of settled into the match far too late. I was very nervous, but again, hopefully taking some positives forward, and the goal is now to get back up there next year and hopefully do better.
Yeah, it's a case of the more you get used to those situations, the less nerves there's going to be. I mean, I think Fallon is probably a good example for that. She's played in the World Championships, played obviously in the Grand Slam a couple of times as well. She's got rid of those nerves and she's able to show her true game. Do you feel like that could be the same for not just yourself, but quite a few of the players?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, it's all still quite new. I've played in, like you say, a couple of World Championships now, and but you do it 1 year at a time, so it still feels very fresh, very nerve-wracking, and you kind of want to prove that you can hit those kind of 80 plus averages at the right time. Unfortunately for me, I just haven't been able to settle down quick enough, and you can't afford to do it against the players that we're playing against. So from a personal point of view, I hope again, like I say, I can just build on that experience and get better. But hopefully again, it will mean the world of difference for other players that get the opportunities to do it, and they're going to go, right, I know what to kind of expect now, and take it forward.
Yeah, I couldn't get you on without speaking about Beau Greaves and the weekend she had out in Germany. 4 tournaments and 4 wins. I think she's put herself in a position now where people are talking about her as the best player in the women's game. Do you feel like that's a true statement?
I mean, if you based on what she's done this weekend, then how can you argue that? However, you still have the likes of Lisa and Fallon, who obviously wasn't there this weekend because she was at the World Series. So yeah, I think it'll be really interesting, this next one. Obviously, Lisa's confirmed her place in the World Championship, but there is that kind of thing where, if Beau goes to Wigan, depending on those draws, because it's not ranked, it is a completely open draw. So, depending on how those first, second round ties fall, it really could be quite an interesting one, because Aileen de Graaf's right up there as well, Lorraine Winstanley. If they can get a couple of wins under their belt, it just makes everything quite exciting as we're coming into this tail end to secure a place at the Worlds.
And you even now you forget that Beau's still just 18 years of age. She's got that first World Championship under her belt. She's still developing. How scary is it, the fact that she's just 18 and there's so much more potential in there?
Yeah, I was on the end of it twice this weekend. One, I was clinging on in there for a little while, but the next one, no, she completely blitzed me. Yeah, it's the level of consistency and the level of play. She's hitting these 90 plus averages, and I would say she makes it look easy, but I know that's just down to hard work and all the practice she's put in, coming from how she's described, where she was maybe a year ago, where she was struggling, to now to turn it around, to be playing at the level she's playing.
Yeah.
And as you say, she's 18, she's got the world ahead of her. And if she builds on what she's already got, then I've always said it's up for us, other women to kind of reach the levels of Lisa and to reach the levels of Fallon, etc. But also now we've got Beau. So it's just, it's the way that we want the game to go. We all want to be fighting to be playing at those levels. And it's people like that that are going to have to, if we want to win, we're going to have to be pushed to be better. And hopefully we will be.
Obviously, she seems to be setting the bar in the women's game. But if the opportunities were there, obviously that World Championship place is still undecided. You've got Grand Slam is I believe decided. Don't quote me on that one, but in the future maybe she could be in that sort of event. Do you feel like she's got the ability now to mix it with the male players on the tour?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, based on what we've seen this weekend, and as I say, it's not just the odd 90 odd average here or there. It's consistently high and consistently performing. So absolutely, why not? It would be great, I think, to see her perhaps have a go at Q School if that's what she wants to do. But yeah, as I say, she's put herself in a very good position after just one event to actually potentially be at the World Championships. And when you think the rest of us have all played 12 already, beforehand, that's an unbelievable achievement in itself. So it's like I say, it's looking good for women's darts, and at the moment, based on that performance, I think Beau's now kind of leading the way, and it'll be interesting to see how perhaps Lisa and Fallon and Aileen de Graaf, etc. They kind of respond to that kind of stuff. So next the Wigan one, I'm really interested in. I'd like to do well myself too, but but yeah, these top girls, I've still got to raise my game to be anywhere near them.
What's next for you then on the calendar? I know there's a lot of darts going at the moment. What have you got in the notebook?
I think do the British Open in Bridlington. Obviously Wigan, as I've mentioned, and there's a couple of kind of ones, WGF ones on the continent. So perhaps Bruges. I quite enjoy that tournament. I think the other aim, is to try and get myself in a position where I make the World Championships as well with the WGF. Just so I can keep trying to get that televised experience, just keep trying to push myself, and hopefully, I think I'm 8th now on the Women's Series Order of Merit. I want to stay in that top 8. That was my goal at the beginning of the season. I want to stay in the top 8 by the end. So if I can do that, then I've kind of achieved what I've set out to achieve.
And we'll see you in Leicester and hopefully Wolverhampton with Sky as well, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll be in Leicester. And like I say, hopefully Wolverhampton too. Kind of enjoy that side of it. Very honoured to be able to talk about it as well as try and play it most of the time. But it's all very exciting, very full on. I mean, it's great after so many, 18 months, 2 years of not being able to freely travel and get around and play darts. It's great to actually feel like we're now back into this pattern where we've got matches and tournaments week after week after week. So again, hopefully it just pushes for improvement.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for your time, Laura. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you soon.
Lovely. Thanks.